What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and today I'm here with the sensual, the suave.
Gershwan. That's an old throwback.
It is. I remember I could not get that down. It took like, 30 takes?
Yeah, check out our OMS bloopers.
From like 4 years ago.
Back when we used to do hero clicks.
Yeah.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. That is what Cole Sims did. He asks, are the Astartes aware of the Thunder Warriors' past and existence? If so, to what extent and how do you think they would treat one another? So, just as a quick background, the Thunder Warriors were basically what was created by the Emperor before they created the Space Marines. They were just genetically modified humans, usually already adults, and they were just, they didn't have gene seed of Primarchs. Primarchs didn't exist. They were just like really buffed up, steroid-filled, gene-enhanced warriors, and they fought during the Unification Wars to help the Emperor destroy each one of the techno-barbarian warlords that existed on Terra back in the day during the Age of Strife. So check out our 40 facts on Age of Strife, Thunder Warriors, techno-barbarian warlords, and then the Unification War, and that will explain everything in detail.
The full scope
of everything. But anyways, do Space Marines know about them? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really like a main thing that comes up in the codex or in the novels that I'm aware of.
Mm-hmm.
If they did, I don't think it'll make much of a difference. I mean, they're still going to go and fight for the Emperor and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. There is some theories that say that there are Thunder Warriors still alive.
Mm-hmm.
The conclusion of the Thunder Warriors was that once the Emperor unified Terra, he killed off all of the Thunder Warriors to bring in the Space Marines. He always had the intention of killing them off, but it is said that the last unit actually escaped. And they're still out and about because, again, like Thunder Warriors, Space Marines, they live a long time. So they're still out and about, and I think what it is a superhuman or a person to that extent that's that powerful, if they pose any type of threat to the Imperium, Space Marines would kill them.
Yeah.
Think of Blade Runner, because like the whole theme of Blade Runner, spoiler alert, is like, so you have the Blade Runner going around killing these
threats, I guess?
Yeah, are they androids? Are they like, they're genetically modified? I don't know what they are, because they do grow in sacks, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's almost the same thing as Blade Runner, where like Space Marines would go out hunting for the Thunder Warriors, or maybe the Inquisition, the Grey Knights, some ordo like that, like the what are the dudes with the gray shields? Where one person of every chapter can go into it, and they patrol the void.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Those guys. Why can't we remember? Yeah. Good question though.
Yeah. And Trazian in his vaults.
He has some.
Rumored that he has some.
Mm-hmm. Next question. I have one from Major Toxin. He asks, if the Emperor comes back as a god, would he be mad for he is what he hates? No.
Yeah, I don't think so, because I feel like he'll see this as like the universe pushing him towards that's what he needed to become. Because humanity doesn't need to be ruled by religion, but he has to attain the form of a god to rule over humanity. It's weird. It doesn't make sense, but sure, roll with it.
Next question comes from Last Burn. He asks, what happens if you stick a magnet to an AdMech? So like if you stuck it to a Skitarii, it would stick because most Skitarii are androids.
Yeah, they're more machine than they are human at that point.
You just can't put it anywhere near the brain plate because it's kind of like when you do that to a computer, it
messes up.
Mm-hmm.
Don't put magnets to your computer or your TVs.
Yes. Next question.
This one's by Caleb Blaine. If the Emperor is a perpetual, why don't they just let him die so he can come back?
He is powering what is called the Astronomicon. It's basically a lighthouse that tells psychers that are in the warp what direction to go to. It's like the North Star, right? It never changes.
Right.
If the Emperor goes away for even... Well, first of all, you don't know how long it's going to take the Perpetual to come back to life.
Right.
So if it's like an hour, that's an hour of people in the warp that are just going to die. They won't know where to go.
Not just that, but he's also guarding Terra from like hordes and hordes of warp demons to like pile right in.
Yep.
And an hour of basically inviting all demons to Terra, that's bad news.
Yeah, and that's just if it's an hour.
Yeah.
But because Vulcan died and then he came back, but he didn't come back like in an hour.
No, it was almost like instantaneous. Think of like Wolverine with his healing factor. Like, I remember in the books and stuff, it said that Conrad Kurz was like torturing him, like burning him to ash, chopping off his head, and he'd come back almost instantly.
Now, when he came back, he wouldn't come. It would be like regeneration, where it slowly comes back, right?
Like that.
So, like, if you were to just like shoot the Emperor in the head, he loses all consciousness. He would just come back. He would still be in the same decrepit form that he was to begin with.
Right. You would literally have to take him off the Golden Throne in order for his body to heal.
Yeah, because it's not like if you look at Wolverine and you like if something bad happens to Wolverine, it doesn't mean that he like regenerates back to when he was like 13 years old. Like that's what old Logan is. Like yes, he has regeneration. It's really slow, and when he fully regenerates, he just regenerates to his really old Logan self.
Right.
Same thing with the Emperor. So it's risky.
It's a risky business.
Next question comes from Tabletrack. Who is your favorite and least favorite Primarch? Favorite first. What's yours?
Primarch?
Yeah.
If I had to pick just one, I'll go with Sanguinius.
Favorite. That's
favorite.
Yeah. So I'll say so. There is an Instagram page that's pretty cool. It's called Emperor of Memes. And he recently did this cool little like people vote to see what Primarch would come out on top or whatever. And the last two was Magnus and Sanguinius. And last I checked, Sanguinius won. So it seems like Sanguinius is really, really popular. Why do you like him?
He just looks really badass. Any depiction of him, he looks like he's a Primarch. Like he's above humans, of like he's on like that god level, and I think it's because of the wings.
Yeah, that's what I feel. I feel like a lot of people vote for him just because he is like a cool looking Primarch. Even though I think story-wise, I feel like story-wise there's so many other Primarchs that have better stories. Like I think Sanguinius, Rogaldorn, Gilliman, they're all so like simple, so like basic stories.
When you look at it, like just looking at it plainly, yes, but Sanguinius feels the pressure and the hopelessness of letting down his legion because of the Black Rage, the Red Thirst, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Well, the Black Rage, not yet. The Red Thirst, yes.
But even with that, like, I don't think there's so... Like, I still haven't done his origin video, but, like, I understand why people like him. He looks cool. The reason I'm saying that, too, is because he's my least favorite. He's not just my least favorite because...
More than Perturabo?
Yeah, so what's funny is I just did the origins video on Perturabo, and Perturabo was freaking amazing. He just instinctively knows about machines. So he's basically Ferrus Manus. He like instinctively has a connection to the warp because of the Eye of Terror. He can see it, nobody else can. So that's like instantly Lorgar, that's Magnus, not to the extent of Magnus, but like he has psychic powers and whatnot. And he was amazing at siege, so that's like Rogaldorn. A siege master's gonna at some point do like hand-to-hand combat, so he's probably a beast because he has that giant ass hammer.
He's super strong, being able to hold up a Titan stepping on him.
That's Leman Russ right there. That's Vulcan with the strength.
Yeah.
Perturabo is like basically one of the best Primarchs because he has a little bit of everybody. But because Iron Warriors are pretty bad, but because of that, they seem like to be pushed down. So I would say my favorite is Perturabo. And then least favorite Sanguinius, because I feel like Sanguinius is kind of like, okay, I get it. He is kind of like the poster boy-ish.
Once you do his lore, I think you'll change your mind.
Yeah. What about your least favorite?
Perturabo.
So you're like opposites.
Yeah.
That's the first time that's happened.
Yeah.
Now again, that list changes every
It
week.
changes. Yeah. Like I could read a new snippet of lore and be like, oh, I really love this.
I remember I used to love Ferrus Manus, and now like I can't stand doing lore on the Iron Hands or Ferrus Manus because it's kind of like I get it. Okay. But yeah. Next question comes from Ty Shingleton. He asks, can individual Astartes or even entire chapters join the greater good of the Tau?
We kind of touched on this a little bit. No.
Yeah. There has been recorded instances of Space Marines fighting alongside Tau, but never has like a Space Marine chapter defected, right? Yeah, defected to the Tau Empire. Nor has one individual Space Marine ever done like anything like that. There's a lot of images. You could even check out the Tau Codex. That you have a Space Marine and you have some type of Adeptus Ministorum clerk or something talking to like a Tau Ethereal, which I think is always really cool. Or a planetary governor and a Space Marine talking to a Tau like. Who are the politicians? Aircast or Watercast?
I believe it's the water.
Yeah. So that you have a lot of that. So there is interaction, there is communication, but never to the extent of like, yeah, let's be friends, or let's be more than friends, I should say.
Yeah.
Never to the friends with benefit line. Next question.
This one's by X Gamers. Every legion is defined by their characteristics, personalities, the best of the worst of themselves. So, if you guys had to join one, regardless if it's currently considered a loyalist or a traitor, which one do you think you would join that best fits you based on your characteristics and such? And if you can't think of one, what implants would you get that a Space Marine would get that actually seems beneficial in real life? So 2 questions. First one, joining a legion not just because we like it, but because we think we fit best in it.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to say because, like, we dive into the lore of 40K. So the first thing that comes to mind would be either Thousand Sons or the Word Bearers, because it kind of fits our whole theme of like we dig deep into like the history of Warhammer 40K and the Imperium. So like we kind of understand more of the reality, like the Word Bearers or like Magnus and his like library and all that kind of stuff.
The tomes and such.
Yeah, so I would say one of those two. What about you?
I would say probably the Word Bearers, because I feel like the whole thing with like Core Pharaon and the split between the legions and diving into chaos and stuff can happen to literally anybody.
Yeah.
And it just happened to be the Word Bearers with Lorgar and everything he went through. So I'd go with the Word Bearers.
Yeah, the only tough thing about that is that like you can't say like, yeah, I'm psychic.
Right. There's like, yeah, I'd summon a demon.
Yeah. But yeah.
And then which Space Marine implant would you get that you think would be beneficial if it were real?
I want to spit acid.
I knew that was going to come. Literally. I think I'd go with, like, whatever you eat, you gain the memories of.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. I think it's the same gland.
That's pretty weird, though. Imagine eating, like, steak and you just see a cow.
Yeah, I've always wondered what, like, cows think. Because you know how it's either a comedian or there was somebody that said, if we actually understood, or if, like, all of a sudden, like, lions could speak English, like, what they would say to you, you wouldn't understand. Because they're not really in the same,
right?
Yeah, wavelength or whatever of just perceiving reality. So it would be weird to just, like, everything you eat, you have a perception that comes from a very animalistic state. It's weird.
Yeah.
That'd be cool, though.
Because it's like society doesn't matter to them. And
they live in the now.
Morals and nature versus nurture. That'd be really cool to dive into.
I think because the Joe Rogan podcast had Neil deGrasse Tyson over the weekend, and he was talking about how, I hope it's Neil deGrasse Tyson, I think it was. He was basically talking about how humans are the only living creatures that have the perception of I. Even though I thought there was more animals that had that.
Oh, chimpanzees do.
Yeah, they have like I. Like I have a past and I have a future, whereas like most animals are.
I'm hungry now. I need to get this.
Yeah. Those are the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, comment down below. And this is Gershwin.
Sound Alchemist, and we're out.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation. I knew I never had that much to lose.